The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. As always, we come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have today? Well, we've got a little bit of a rout. Actually, 1%, 1.17% down on the S&P cash. So this is the first day since October 10th that we've seen a 1% move to the downside. 2345.87 is the last tick. What we don't have is some monster volume. Is it better than yesterday's? Yes. Is it far less than many days where we've had much smaller moves in the market? Yes. Just now ticked over 2 billion shares on the NYSE. Again, much more important what we have in about an hour and 54 minutes from now at the close. But it is a day that will probably give us some kind of signal. If we continue to come down on light volume, then this is just a retrace of the move up. There are some reasons why, of course, people are attributing this move down. We actually were up to a high of, 2381. Let's call it 2382. Pretty much off the bell. Then the Congressional Caucus for Conservatives, I think it's called the Freedom Caucus, came out and said that they thought that they were within one or two votes of blocking the healthcare proposal Part 2, the healthcare proposal to fix the problems with the aforementioned problem with Obamacare. Looking at it, everybody knows that there's just no way. It'd be cheaper to give everybody a beach house, but of course everybody wants everything for free. So what do? Well, you kind of put in this thing that's maybe more odorous, but cuts at least the cost down. Then we had kind of a little bit of a rockin' robin come by. Yes, we had the tweeter-in-chief come by and say that he was going to go after high cost of pharmaceuticals. So that kind of put the kibosh on the IBB. So we got a few things going on, a few cross currents. Of course, this is the last day of options rollover. Tomorrow is a ton more important than today. Can I make an alternate reality path where they just took advantage of this and the market was going to go down anyway so that people could get some option positions on? Would they have just found something else to push the market down with? Well, there is no alternate reality that I know of. So we will, and I don't put so much weight into the fact that this was out here other than the fact that a lot of people were waiting and sure that this was the top of the market. So, but you don't see that in the numbers. There weren't a lot of people shorting over the last few days, and that kind of, even the action yesterday, you could see 2-3 point moves in the S&P cash during the day, and still no volume. So what do we have? We've got a push down so far. I would have liked to seen somewhere around 2.5 billion shares right now. So I'm figuring that we're probably, 500 million shares down on this. And we'll see. Anyway, we're off 24 points on the S&P cash. When we look at some of the other indexes, like the NASDAQ, off 88 points on it. Volume's 1.77 billion on it. So can you say a whole lot? Yeah. For all the days that we've been up, is it a big deal? Probably not as much as one would think. But there's some stocks still down here with very low volume, and a couple of them look tasty. I added one this morning, and I think got a good fill on it. Still doing well. It hadn't gone down. It's actually gone up. So are there some possibilities to buy some fallen angels in here? I think maybe there is. I really need to see some kind of volume come in to make me think that they're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one, and it's more than a one-day event. But we shall see. And, of course, in a little less than an hour and 49 minutes from now, we're going to probably have a much better idea on that closing volume, what other folks are doing. What else is going on out here? Well, we need to do our history.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1963, Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay closes down and transfers its last prisoners. At the peak period of its use in the 50s, the Rock, or the American's Devil Island, housed over 200 inmates at the maximum security facility. Alcatraz remains an icon of American prisons for its harsh conditions and record of being inescapable, although some people think that it has been escapable. There's some pictures of the Anglin brothers down here in Florida in the mid-70s or 80s, and I have to say that, man, it looks possible. Maybe they did get away. Who knows what happened to the rest of the folks? My connection with the Rock, I spent if anybody's ever been there, I probably off and on lived about 6 months down there on Pier 39. They had a deal where you could rent houseboats in the bay like a hotel room. They had a shower on there. And I could have stayed in a nice hotel room, but in San Francisco, the thing to do is go down there, rent a houseboat down there with all the seals and walruses, and have a lot of fun. If you ever go there, there's a boat called the Pompanito, and when I mean a boat, I mean a submarine. Go down and see that. I spent a lot of my extra time at night helping those guys out before it was featured in a movie called Periscope Down. But I spent a lot of time sitting there staring at Alcatraz. Was only in a cell once there, just for fun. But met many of the people that actually used to be there, and actually as inmates. And kind of interesting to see what these guys look like when they're 70 and 80 after kind of a harsh life earlier. Met one guy, really enjoyed him. I've got his book here somewhere. Maybe I'll find it during the break. But very interesting guy. Did some small stuff. He just kept escaping, so they threw him in there. Really didn't do anything really horrible. And eventually gave up being mad. Got his sister to move out there, help him become a radiologist. Spent 30 years as a radiologist after he got out. I think he retired when he was something like 70 years old. And actually, one of the few people I've met that was rehabilitated, but I don't know so much from being there. But interesting thing, go see it. Just stop by the submarine while you're down there at Pier 39. We'll be back after the break.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. What else do we have out here? We've already done our history, so it's time to go on to non-history, or what's happening in the church of what's happening now. Oh, we've got a few more things. I forgot that we have a few things going on. After the bell tonight, we've got Nike. Not much happening on Wednesday. After the bell, we've got Micron, but pretty thin on earnings. So not much happening on that front. So going to be kind of a quiet week yet again. So we'll take a look at that. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put messages in the den if you want me to look at anything. Earlier, before the bell, we had a few earnings out. We've talked on this show about ad nauseum about why I'm not a big fan of solar stocks. These things only existed in a few-year window because they were supported by federal subsidies. And as those subsidies continue to kind of wind down, even though the price of solar cells has come down, still run anywhere from 4 to 5 to 6 times the price of actually just buying electricity from your local power company. Anything else going on in this other than just subsidies going away? Very hard to figure out why you want to buy these. There was a great article in The Economist about why solar cells don't make a lot of sense. And it basically comes down to this, that if you spend the money for a power plant, it can run 24 hours regardless. Or you can spend a lot more money per kilowatt and get solar cells that don't work 7-8 hours a day. And then, of course, you've got nowhere to store it. So you still got to buy the full-fledged power station already. And until someone comes up with a cheap, economical way of storing electricity during the day, even if solar cells come down in price, it's going to have to come down about fourfold overall to be price sensitive to coal and or natural gas. And I guess you can even say nuclear in many countries. Not, of course, because no one likes nuclear power, although it would be a great thing here, done the right way. The U.S. does not do it the right way. In France, have you ever heard of a nuclear problem in France? They raise military officers to run their power stations, nuclear power stations. And the guys serve on the nuclear submarines and do other things. But they literally raise people to do everything correct in a military way to run their power stations. We get, Mr. Simpson and try to pay him as little as we can. Doesn't sound like the right way to do something with the most dangerous form of energy. It could be much safer, too, if the redesigns were made. But we'll look at this coal and natural gas production of electricity, and it's still about 4x the time, and not even taking into account what happens when you need to store the data. Anyway, CSIQ will always be one of these stocks that I hold near and dear to my heart, because this one gave one of the best signals of all time. And I backed up the truck, as they say, back in 2009. And this thing just made money like it was a option on Friday, and the stock had just taken off. This was one that paid. This was one of the few stocks that actually made me as much money as an option in a handful of days. This one and some other ones. Both of these reporting. Perry Ellis, I think, reports tomorrow. That was another one that I bought in the March 2009 low. PERY, right? Yeah. And this one's not doing much. Other earnings notables was Lennar today. L-E-N. L-E-N? L-E-N, yeah. Okay, Lennar. And, a little bit of a whiffing out here. I'm wondering how much this is because of the overall market conditions, but we shall see. Down today on 3 million shares. Not a bad day when you really look at it. For earnings being so-so. Just kind of coming back. You got to think that all these housing stocks are probably fairly close to a high. Okay, what else do we have going on in the market? Let's take a look at some of the ones out here that had the worst movement. Project scans, no. Apparently he's okay. We'll look at percentage advancers. This has got to be short list today. AGI, which is Alamos Gold, up not much volume. A couple days ago, you had a lot. AGI, this is up okay, but you think maybe a little bit more juice out of that today than other days. CCE, Coca-Cola Enterprises, nice little pop higher. Not many stocks higher today. Francesca Holdings. Well, this one opened up much higher, but it's given it all back, probably mostly in the last little bit since I ran the scan at about noon. Got to 1750, kind of gave it all back up. SA, which is Seabridge Gold. Nice move this. Now, Seabridge up against its previous high. Hopefully, it's going to close above 1207 if you are a gold fan. That's a February 17th high. It got and pierced that by 13 cents today. Volume a little better. 1.2 million shares already. She's about the same on the way up as on the way down. So we'll see on that. Sibian Gold, another big winner out here today. Up today on 2.3 million shares so far. Pretty good volume. Previous high is 948. Just looking like this thing is getting to a resistance level, but no giant standout yet. My guess, again, is we're going to know a lot more at the close today than we know now. And Wright Medical, a big doji out here today. Volume picked up just a little. Now we're going to look at the decliners, percent decliners. My guess is that's going to be a lot more out here. We've been looking at this stock the last few days. It peaked out without much fanfare, pulled back down. This is AKOA, down today, almost no volume though. BCRX, BioCryst Pharmaceuticals, like a lot of these pharma stocks, turning around back here at this high, but again, not much volume, 1.1 million shares. You actually took off from the February 27th low on 14 million shares. So again, not a lot of push out here on some of these. Another bio stock down today, volume picking up a little bit. You see CALA, this is Calthera Biosciences. You're in the candle that was up on 3 million shares back on the 1st of March. You're down today with 1.6 million shares. Could you get 2.2 million shares out by today? I think you could, but certainly it looks like this thing's kind of coming back down into that candle with lighter volume. Got a few more to look at. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And volume continues to be rather tepid, just 2.25 billion shares at the bottom of the hour. So I don't know if there's a whole lot you could say. Request in the Den from John in Philadelphia. wanted to know about Google. I've been actually writing about the issues surrounding censorship, and probably, you've got to have some kind of ethics when it comes to knowing that the country doesn't believe everything that you believe. I know everybody doesn't believe everything I believe. I hear that regularly in your emails. But what's interesting to me is, even if you just looked at the chart, January 27th, 867, you had 3.375 million shares back on that high. You get into 2 days ago, you had 1.8 million shares. So you tested that. If you also look at the power, my vector power, can't even talk today. My power law vector indicator, you came down on a lot of juice from that January 27th high to the February 2nd high on those earnings. As this thing has gone back up, it's been on very light and tepid volume, so that you came up here, tested it on about half the volume on March 17th, and then closed lower, and this thing rolled over. It's not a surprise. But since probably midsummer, Google, Facebook all have kind of this general problems, and that is free speech is in the eye of the beholder. I think we can all say that maybe cutting somebody's head off with a chainsaw, probably not something that's that falls in the realm of, do I have a question about putting that on YouTube with Google? But there were a lot of things, from the search engine to other things, where they have to get between their social, or at least what they espouse as their social views, and what their customers want, depending on what country it's in. And this is where it gets sticky. Normally, businesses kind of stay out of all the social issues. They take their cash and they go and spend it. Silicon Valley's kind of changed that into, you're going to believe what I believe until it actually costs me and my shareholders get on my back. And that's kind of where we're at in a great deal of this. It's problematic. Google started cutting off advertising to some of the people they didn't like, or didn't like the content. Some of this stuff's real easy. Let's kill all the Jews. I think that it's not really tough to say, maybe we don't want that on our platform. A little bit tougher is, I don't like this politician, I do like this one. What's hate speech? What's not hate speech? Then they got burned over the last couple of days by everybody in San Francisco, because some of the new censorship tools that they were using meant that the, LBGTQFMNLOP, I can't ever keep any of this stuff straight. Anyway, gay and lesbian line? Oh, who knows? There's so many groups these days. Anyway, a few people said that, your new censorship tools wasn't letting people find my stuff about my sexuality, and therefore you must hate gays. And of course, Google, being in San Francisco, has to go ape, the brown word. So you get a lot of this stuff going on, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling loop out here, which is it about making money, doing the right thing, or pushing your social agenda? And a lot of that hasn't been sorted out yet. And, from advertisers showing up, like the BBC, just think yesterday or the day before, found out that on YouTube they were being sponsored by a bunch of skinheads, which was a little ludicrous. So you don't know who's sponsoring your stuff if you've got it on YouTube. It's, whoever runs the ad and whatever their algorithm is on the backside of it. But I think a little bit of this may not just be from the United States, but is from a lot of Europeans over there. I think the BBC really said that they wouldn't run another ad on YouTube again until they figured out what the ads would be and would not be. And again, do you have to be an adult to see somebody talking about a certain issue, not literally watching the issue, but just seeing it? And then, you've got these issues even from Disney, where I think there were 4 or 5 countries that wouldn't show Aladdin this weekend because they had a gay character. So again, above my pay grade to know what's right or wrong on this stuff. But again, that's the problem with being social, is that you do eventually have to make a decision. And that decision is going to rile some folks. Either it's going to rile folks here, or in Disney's case, in Indonesia, or in Google's case, do you tick off the people that live around you in favor of ticking off people around the rest of the world that may not subscribe to your social values and think what's important to you has to be important to them, especially when you're a monopoly. And that's, I have to say, there probably isn't a great answer for what these guys are facing. But I've written about it since last summer, where they were caught with their hands in the cookie jar promoting one particular political candidate over another one. And what do? Again, a lot of these companies kind of went down the rabbit hole of being, how can you say it, that way. And again, maybe if I spent my misspent youth in the clergy, maybe I'd have a better time of figuring out what's right or wrong. So I don't know be better than these guys. I just know that it's a problem. And when you have a problem and you're ticking off half the world or half the people in the United States, it's always a problem. Yeah, Mr. Dinsdale. So it is, rough and polar. It's not an easy thing. In fact, kind of throws me back to my days when I was running all the desktop computer products at Digital Processing Systems, the company that I was in that went public. I said one rule, and one rule only with our distributors: don't ever show any favors. Don't give one guy anything better than the other, because all you're going to do is take off one guy. We're best suited with all our distributors or our customers to display it down the middle. It doesn't do us any good and does us long-term pain to favor one over the other. So any of our rules or any of our regulations, any of our policies have to be right down the middle. And we got to actually come up with these beforehand, not after. And since I'd worked in that distribution network before, I knew all the things that were right and wrong. And we kind of just did them. And you know what? We didn't have a lot of yelling or screaming. They just brought the products. They sold them. They made their cut as distributors. Our customers liked it. The only thing we ever heard from were people in Europe who were always mad because, you could buy products here in the United States for 20% less than they were willing to sell them in Europe. And the gray market was never a problem for us to solve. Anyway, Google, as a chart, as a business, has challenges. We'll be back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking to unearth a new financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, consider the new Market Safe Core Commodity CD from Everbank. This 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 4 equally weighted commodities: gold, copper, WTI oil, and sugar, in one powerful CD. With no pricing caps, you could potentially earn an unlimited upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across semi-annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There's no annual percentage percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. With certain commodities on the rebound, now is the time to take advantage. The March 23rd funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once more, that's 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And I'm trying to remember the name of it. And I remember reading it this week. Somebody in the den asked me who's the biggest manufacturer of robots. And I'm trying to remember who they sued because it really said that's who was the biggest manufacturer of robots. This is a different article. One of the ones I read. It was this week, though, where a woman was crushed in Michigan by a robot. And maybe I'll find it during the next break here. But it listed all the major manufacturers that she was suing this week. But I think it was the people that serviced it, the people that manufactured it. But I remember in the article it said it was the biggest manufacturer of robots out there. And I just don't think that there's any public companies that do it. Looking at IBB real quick, volume certainly better than yesterday. But you've got candles out here like on the 27th up that had 2.6 million shares. You got let's call it 2 million shares on the way down right now. So it's not like we're going to be blowing out with massive volume. The IBB, which was one of the weaker stocks out there, that one actually tested its previous high again on half the volume. Avis Budget Group back down to this gap that goes back to June 29th of 2016. Down with some volume. This thing has done nothing but go lower. CLF, which is Cliffs Natural Resources, a nice, real big move. This thing is back to its support level. If volume remains rather light here, if you get this about $7.75, you want to put a nice little marker out there on that one. Cheetah Mobile just rolled over. This one have some big volume to the downside today, down to $11. CRBP, nice little reversal up here, but all these pharmaceuticals charts kind of look the same. This thing went back into its previous high of November 14th that had 12.7 million shares yesterday with this 2.7 million shares. A little higher on the open this morning and a reversal. So you can make some cases that not looking good. Deutsche Bank, we'd been talking about these double gaps getting retested in especially the European financial stocks. Overnight, the debate for the French political president came out, and I think what you saw there was kind of a big reaction. We had Ms. Dudette in the den talk about how she watched it. I think she's in England, and how unimpressive the far left-wing candidate was going against her. And even the polls that I saw released about midday today said that a lot of people are thinking that Le Pen does win. What else do we have? Anyway, back down to this gap today. Now, did we have the kind of volume that would blow away this gap back up? You had 20 million shares on the 6th of December in Deutsche Bank. We got about 14 million shares compared to 20 million shares. We want to need to see how this comes back in, but actually $17 is fairly decent support in Deutsche Bank. Emerging Energy Services LP, it's back to its gap. This is the 30th of November, up on 2 million shares, down on about half of that today, back to support. So a lot of these things are not giving me a lot of blowout signals. What do we have? High Crush Partners, this is an energy stock. Huge move down, but not the kind of juice that you would expect. Less than 2 million shares. But, of course, it's going back into a rather light volume, 600,000 share November 4th low. Hertz, another one. It hurts. It hurts. All these rental car companies hurt. Down with a fairly decent volume. If we look back to February 24th at 4 million shares at 1934, this blew through it today and did so with volume. It's already up, 30% higher volume already today. LABU, which is the biotech ETF, not the IBB, which I don't spend a lot of time looking at. Volume has picked up in this one a little bit more. They have a little different constituents than the IBB. The IBB has got, 80 different stocks in it? I forgot I actually put them down one day. There's a lot of stocks in the IBB, much fewer in the LABU. This is headed back down. My suspicion is that about $41 is where support comes back in the LABU. Do we have anything? I got a question about IBM. Watson and Cloud be big EPS movers in time? I think they can. IBM had a big announcement today that was kind of interesting. I wanted to see whether or not it did any good for them. It really didn't, but they are down on lighter volume. Will this be a big mover for them? Only time will tell. Again, they're supplying the back-end software and the hardware for all this machine learning stuff. You still have to have somebody with a great idea to implement it. And again, kind of the healthcare, some other places starting to use it, cancer research. But again, the huge opportunity for this is some kind of mass killer app. And that killer app just really hasn't come out quite yet. But pretty interesting news today. Let me go ahead and pull this up on IBM. I was thinking, maybe this one would buck the trend lines on this. Let me say ROK or ABB for robot companies. I'm trying to remember what that one was. We will see. Okay, hang on a second. Let me just move a few things around. IBM. Okay, it just took a while to get to all this stuff. I'm trying to remember the article. Yeah, this was on IBM. There was something else on IBM that was very interesting. Now, this is another article. I'm going to have to go back and find it, but I saved it earlier today. But there was another business that IBM was in that got a little boost. Anyway, down on light volume, so I guess that's all you got to say. And, of course, support probably comes in this day that had a lot of volume to the upside, 12.6 million shares. That's on the 20th of January. The high that day was 170.64. So maybe $3 or $4 down in this would find some support for IBM. But you're already kind of into that candle that had 7 million shares on the 24th of January. It's just back down with 2.6 million shares today. So not a lot of sellers, but again, pretty light volume day all around, kind of like yesterday. Not expecting the move that we had at the close yesterday, but let's see.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge Heard Daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head, but Lincoln Electric, I think, is one of the bigger robotics companies here in the United States. Flexengate, another one, Protomax, a Canadian company, FANUC America, and Nachi Robotic Systems, which I think is from Japan. Those are a few of the ones out here that are mentioned in this article. Again, it's the same thing I was talking about in driving cars earlier in the week, is who's responsible if that driving car runs over somebody and it's not being controlled by the CIA by the moment for an anonymous assassination. As we covered last week in the WikiLeaks. What can you say? I don't know. Not a lot going on out there. We're off 24 points in the S&P cash volume, 2.5 billion shares. So you got an hour to go. Probably means we get about 3.6 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape for the day. Does that mean a lot? I don't think so. It's not going to be that big. Let's take a look at some of the FANG stocks and see how they've done. You got a little bit of volume today in Facebook. Got to 142.31. Kind of a nice little reversal signal out here. The thing's just been kind of peaking higher each day. Microsoft is kind of interesting. Down, but almost no volume on this one. Look at this one. 17.2 million shares. You had 48 million shares a couple of days ago, and it went sideways. So not a lot going on there. Microsoft did show off a new product with LinkedIn today, and it's got some of the people from CC, what is it? Customer management, what is it? Salesforce. CRM? Yeah. I want to see how CRM did on them, Microsoft coming out with its product directly going after Salesforce. It's down again. Again, no volume in a lot of these stocks that I'm looking at, although it's off $1.50 or so today. Doesn't really give it, especially with the news with Microsoft. I was wondering, if this wouldn't be a double whammy. But so far today, light volume down yesterday, more light volume down. I wonder when they've got earnings coming out. I think it's not too far away, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on a second. May 16th. Well, that's far enough. But we'll take a look at that when earnings happen. I just don't see anything in this today. I mean, fairly light volume down when we're talking today at less than 3 million shares. When you've had days of 14 million shares on this high back on March 1st. Let's take a quick look at Facebook as we round out the end of the day. We did that. Amazon, this is kind of a nice little, if you just looked at the candle, bearish engulfing. This thing's been going sideways for the most part since the last week of February. This thing's pretty much eaten all those candles. Volume pick up a little bit, it did a little bit. Again, kind of hard to figure out exactly if a big sell-off in Amazon's coming. I just would always be worried that you get an antitrust lawsuit out about it. See if there's anything else out there. Let's take a look at Netflix, NFLX to round out the day, see how this day is affecting it. Yeah, same kind of thing the last 4 or 5 days out here kind of got eaten by this one. But again, down on 5.9 million shares. And that's not really a big day. You're really almost already into this candle that popped up on 23.2 million shares back on the 19th of January. So far, volume is light and variable, although the S&P is off 24. What else is going on? I think that's about it. As always, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.